गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रहिए, गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रहिए। जो गुरु चाहे सोई सोई करिए, जो गुरु चाहे सोई सोई करिए। गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रहिए। गुरु की महिमा अपरम पार, गुरु की महिमा अपरम पार। अक्षर ओम में करत विहार, गुरु चरणन रज मस्तक धरिए। गुरु चरणन रज मस्तक धरिए। भव सागर हंस हंस के तरिए। गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रहिए। जो गुरु चाहे सोई सोई करिए। गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रहिए। गुरु आज्ञा में निस दिन रहिए। गुरु महाराज की जय। Okay. How can a student of Vedanta handle intense physical pain and lack of mobility? How could she or he bring Vedanta into its life with respect to health issues? Question is clear? Physical pain is the same for everybody. Whether you have jnanam or you don't have jnanam. Do you see a pot? I see a pot. Do you think it's really a pot? That's jnanam. Do you really think it's a pot? No. Ajnani? Yes, it is a pot. This difference is there. But do you see this bunch? Yes, I see the bunch. Do you see the bunch? Yes, we see the bunch. Experience is same. Pain experience will be same. So, how does anybody handle pain? See, I'm saying physical pain cannot be wished away, cannot be, ignored either. But the point is, sometimes what happens, or most of the time, physical pain is not an issue in itself. But the resistance to physical pain is immense. Especially if it's a long drawn problem, you tend to say, how long should I suffer this? Why this suffering for me? Why I have to suffer? Why it won't go? Why there's no there's a lot of whys. And nobody cares for me. Nobody looks at me. I did so. All this can come because I have pain. This is all mental. There's nothing physical about it. And generally, this is the larger component of a long-drawn pain. Physical pain, Swami Tattvayananji will say, if you can pop an aspirin, you pop it. I mean, basically, if you can do something about the pain, do it. That's your choice. You can't wish it away. Jnanam will not get rid of pain. Physical pain has to be endured. There is no option. Student of Vedanta, as I said, what you can handle is not physical pain. See, whether you like it or not, when you are in pain, what do? You endure it. There's no choice there. But in that endurance, is it just at that time when there is pain, or even when the pain is not there, there's a lot of mental pain? That can be avoided. Now, we hear that a jnani, not mere jnanam, it also requires that samadhi, wherein he is able to withdraw attention from his or body. Not an ordinary capacity, but they talk about this both about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Ramana Maharshi. How he could handle the pain and get the surgery done without anesthesia. So the capacity of the mind can be quite strong, you know. Samadhi means you switch off as though from there. It must not be easy. I don't think it's that easy. He did? I heard no anesthesia. But I'm saying it's not simple. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also, they talk like that he underwent things without anything. So, basic thing is, I think there's an acceptance that is how this body is, and you don't identify, I am in pain. But pain will be there, and normally when pain is there, Vedanta goes out of the head. When you are sick, what you know is, I am sick. You don't think sickness came and it went away. It doesn't usually work that way. It's a vulnerable point in time. Pain is a vulnerable point. And in fact, there are people who will think, should I take sannyasa? Because who will take care of me when I'm in pain? I take sannyasa, who will take care of me? It's not an easy thing to resolve. Fear comes. So, only thing I can say is, tan titikshasva bharata. You have to put up with it. There is no other choice. If you can do something about it, please do. If you can take a painkiller, put some ice pack, put some hot pack, whatever you can take to minimize pain, you can go for palliatives. Palliative medicine is good. Or if there is a remedy for it, cure it. But to say, I am jnani, there is no pain, is not possible. There is pain, I am not in pain. If that jnana, nishtha is there, he should be able to say. But pain he will feel. There is no other way. All right? Okay. I understand that in meditation we have to be alert all through, correct? Watch the mind initially to calm it down and then be. Watch the mind is not to calm it down, just objectify it. Know that the mind is also a drishyam, that much only, not to calm it. Calming may happen because you're watching it. That's a side effect. But our intention is only to be objective, not to do anything to it. We don't want to modify the mind. We don't want to stop the mind. We don't want to control the mind. We just want to be aware of the mind. Okay? Thought may come, but make sure you don't form a chain. Correct, that I say. Especially for mental japa, I say, or even just being, because how does the mind get preoccupied? Not by one thought. One discrete thought doesn't occupy mind. But there's a build-up. And that build-up will be some kind of a chain. From A to B, B to C, C to D, you keep going. That build up, if you allow, then you are lost in the thought. Because you are no longer involved. It happens on autopilot. That we try to avoid. We don't want a build up. That alertness is needed. Because that's when the meditation goes. But there again, when we are not doing anything, that's only way out. But if you are picking up japa, then between one chant and the other there's an interval. When can a distraction come? Only in the interval. So if you're chanting orally, you can be distracted all the while and chant. It's possible. Whole Vishnu Sahasranama I can say, and at the end I will say, did I say it or did I not? It can be done. Rudram you can chant with all the swaras correct, and at the end you might wonder, did I chant Rudram or not? That doubt can come. That much distracted one can be. The more comfortable you are, the more easy to be distracted. Because the mind has capacity, autopilot. Chanting goes on, your mind goes elsewhere. It can do it. But in mental chanting, you are thinking a thought. That's what I'm trying to put words to make you see what I'm trying to do. That if I say think of the sun, what will you do? I'm not saying chant sun. Think of the sun. Think of the moon. Think of your mantra. You understand what I'm trying to say? Or you imagine, there's another way Swamiji would suggest sometimes, you imagine someone chanting your mantra. You have to imagine hearing someone chanting your mantra. What will it amount to? It will have to be mental. There's a way to make it mental, okay? Otherwise, there'll be association with breath sometimes. Because many people have practiced meditation by associating with breath. Andar bahar. That trouble will happen. So then you have to think your chant. Or, as I said, hear your own chant. Now, what's happening? It's only a mental frame. There is no vocalization. There is no association with breath. One thought only at a time. You cannot have two. So if I'm thinking tiger, I cannot think of cat. If I'm thinking tiger, I cannot think elephant. Cat, similar family. Elephant, I can't think. If I think coconut, I can't think of grapes. Both cannot come. I can think of coconut and grapes together in one frame. Now, if I'm thinking coconut and grapes in one frame, phone won't come. I can include all three, but you decide what that frame is. That whole frame is only one frame. One frame at a time. That frame is Om Namah Shivaya. There cannot be a distraction within that frame. How long does it take you to think Om Namah Shivaya? In fact, even if you think of Gayatri Mantra, it's longer mantras, the mind is amazing. It can see the whole meaning in a fraction of a second. Even before I try to explain a meaning, that avyakta is all sitting there. It's amazing how the mind functions. Huge thing, but it'll be here somewhere. And it'll come out slowly. But you know what you're going to say. You have an idea. Vocalization is not the same. So when you make the chanting mental, when one thought ends, there is a pause. That's the interval. The mind should be quiet. Then you again take off the same thought again. Therefore, when can distraction come? Only in the interval. Therefore, be aware of the interval. If you are aware of the interval, the likelihood of a distraction becomes lesser. And you can see the difference that the mental chanting will tend to get more absorbing. It will tend to get absorbing. That's how it works. So, now, thought may come, make you don't form a chain. Correct. Last one. The knower has to go. Kindly clarify. See, what I mean by knower has to go is now you can think, I am knowing this thought. I am knowing this thought. I'm not doing japa. Japa is over. Japa is stopped. Now I am. Now there's a thought. I know that thought. That feeling can come. Now what you do is you just be, if I say right now, open your eyes. Okay? What is happening? Sight is happening. Close your eyes. What happens? Sight is gone. Note, seer is also gone. Take note of that. Right now, I open my eyes. Sight and seer are simultaneous. Close your eyes. Sight and seer are gone. If knower is there, known is there. If known is there, knower is there. Correct? Now, even though a thought comes, you just are a witness of the knower and known both appearing. You are not the knower. Note. That's what you need to note. Yukapat, both knower and known arise, and that's why I use sight as an example for you to understand what's happening. You cannot have sight unless seer is there. You cannot have a seer and not have sight. Similarly, knower and known come together, go together. Though you feel only known went, knower also went. In every thought, if I say think of a coconut, thought came, thinker came. When the thought is over, when you landed, what's there? There is no thinker, there is no thought. Unless you are trying to see the gap, what is there, then that fellow is there who is watching it. Otherwise, there is no thinker.
So here we are only saying that don't make it like a deliberate attempt to know, but
Yes.
just leave it.
See, the knowing is Swarupataha. This is what I mean, Swarupa Jnanam. It is not that you choose to know. You cannot but know. You went to sleep. Did you see, when I wake up, I should know? You will know when you wake up. You will know. That is what is chit. It's not will-based. And that chit, when it comes through the mind, has got some funny business happening. But chit is always there. Mind may get inputs, sensory inputs, which is involuntary, and it can have thinking, mentation, which is voluntary. I'm saying drop the voluntary and recognize that involuntary is happening. There is no will, important, there is no will involved. You are not trying to watch, you are not trying to think. You just are. If you just are, sounds will still be heard, memories can still come, thoughts can still pop up, but you don't go along with it. Is that making sense? Okay?
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yeah. See, we have a small booklet called Japa by Puja Swamiji, very small booklet. Read that. It's useful because I have made you do it, but you read it. Swamiji talks about this very nicely. Okay. How to gently balance, is that answered? Okay. Swamiji, kindly give us important verses that can be marked for Nididhyasanam. Well, see, what I will do that probably, but I don't generally like to say, I have always told you what is important. Not for Nididhyasanam. What is a significant verse? And I have made you chant those multiple times. Whatever I made you do multiple times is more important. I won't say this, because you know what, it's like exam buddhi. In the book, exam, what is important? Chapter 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, you leave it now. Don't even study. That's not good. So I don't want to create that kind of a dichotomy. Everything is important. All animals are equal. Some animals are more equal. George Orwell. Pigs are more equal. Right? Yeah. Okay. See, if one is really keen on good Nididhyasanam, whole Kaivalya Upanishad is good. Whole Kaivalya Upanishad. You should chant end to end. That will be wonderful. with some understanding, it will do wonders for you. It is considered to be something which is, nitya karma for sannyasi if you can do it daily. It's a nice thing to do. See, every Upanishad will have some mantras. But I'm saying the Kaivalya Upanishad will walk you through the whole thing. Sometime we'll do it. I would like to do it sometime for all of you. Let's see when it happens. Huh? Yeah, it'll happen sometime when Bhagavan so wishes. But only thing it is not, see, it is more of, after understanding is great. To understand the Satyam and, Mithya and all that, these Upanishads may be more effective. So it becomes more of an Upanishad which is better when you are well grounded, somewhat grounded. So. Huh?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Could you explain red crystal example once again? Could you explain the red crystal example once again, please?
Red crystal example.
The crystal with the red flower next to it.
Okay. So now, see, what we are talking about is to show this is a yellow flower. Yellowness is a part of the flower. It's called, yellow is called an adjective to the flower. All right? Now, Brahmachari is giving me new tool. Let me see how it feels. Now, what do you see? It's a little too big, actually, But if you understand what I'm trying to show you, do you see a yellow stone? If you do, or if I do this, do you see an orange crystal now, orange thing? Do you think, you might think it's an orange stone, it's a coral. It's a coral is what you think. But when I remove, and now I put this, you will see what? This is green, jade, let's say. You take it for jade. Then what happens? I remove it. Now what? Once you saw this, you know crystal is crystal clear. Then what about the green? The green belongs to something other than the crystal, but is mistakenly attributed to the crystal. What about the yellow? Mistakenly attributed. So this, which as though transfers its attribute to the crystal, is called upadhi. This is called upahita. Is that clear? But I also give a word of caution. When we look at Vedanta, it is not like this. Upadhi is not like this. You will be in trouble if you took it like this. What is our upadhi? What is this? How many things are here? One or two? You are too smart already, right? Now you have to tell me what is real. What do you really see? What is the one you see? Pot. Good. You see pot. Do you see clay? After I tell you, do you see clay? Yes. Now how many things are there? Clay only. Correct? But now, when you look at clay, you take it for a pot. Is clay inherent to the pot? Sorry, is pot inherent to the clay?
No.
No. Is yellowness inherent to the crystal?
No.
No. But you think it is yellow. Therefore, this is upadhi. Now, is pot inherent to the clay? No.
No.
But you think it's a pot. So what is pot? Pot is an upadhi to clay. Don't think you need two things.
Okay.
That is very critical when you talk of upadhi in Vedanta. Otherwise, it takes you for a nice trip. Seen a lot of people on a trip. That's why I use the word viewpoint, standpoint, point of view. These words will help you a lot more because whole Vedanta is about Satyam, Mithya being mixed up. It's not two separate things. Okay? Swami, please explain about aim for seva. Who is this? You. Objectives and activities. Amma, you want to talk about it? Aim for seva, objectives and activities. See, aim for seva is All India Movement for Seva. Puja Swamiji's vision was that we need to reach out and help people who need help. And it started in the context of a lot of conversion activity happening, wherein the missionaries will go to especially places which are, hills, tribals, predominantly, and there you go give them some medical care, you give them some blankets, and you put the cross. This was a common happening. And why? And no one from the Sanatana Dharma will even talk to these people. They are remote. They are out of reach. Then Swamiji said, there are people who need care. So these missionaries are providing one seva. What is that? Medical care, hospital, school, something. But they are not doing it just to care for you. They have an agenda to put a cross on you. How do you prevent it? We have to care for people. This is how I believe it began. So then Swamiji said, you cannot have something which is sustained by charitable contributions from everywhere all the time. From somewhere else, centralized organization. What did he want? He said, it should be, the community should be moved to support their own people. So it should slowly snowball into a movement. So beginning you need some startup, but after that, everybody wants to help. Therefore it will become what? A movement for seva. He said it will be self-sustaining. This was his view. Now how do you do seva? So they have started some what we call as Chhatralaya, which means hostels for students, wherein people would come from, you have a hilly area, jungle, tribal area. Schools are not everywhere. Schools are far away and you can't walk through the mountainous path every day. So you make a hostel where children of that area can come and stay there and go to school. So they have access to education. Some places they set up hospitals. Then they have, I think, one hospital, one center for caring for, what do you call them? Autistic children and autistic adults now. They've been extended to adults now. So they have certain activities like this. So about 100 or so hostels are running all over India. So it is called All India Movement for Seva, Aim for Seva. It's meant to reach out. Okay? If you want to know more, what is the website? www.aimforseva.org. Yeah? You've seen that. And if you go to our gallery, you'll see pictures also of some of their activities. What is the difference between understanding and being this knowledge? Or, if I cannot be, does it mean I lack understanding? It is, you cannot be unless you understand. Right? So you're quite right there. I'm just thinking, should I categorize it as I cannot be means I lack understanding? I'm thinking if I have to categorically accept that statement, or should I do what Puji Swami says? You are in the process. So Swamiji would not say you don't know. Because once you have heard all this, you can't say you don't know. But you can't say you know. You are in between, Therefore he would say, you are in the process. Okay? But if you ask strictly, if you make it Boolean, then what will I have to say? If you make it Boolean, either you know or you don't know, then you have only two answers. You know or don't know. So if in an argument, in a Bhashyam discussion, if it comes to the crux, then we will use the Boolean argument. This, you are in the process is Puji Swamiji's compassion for us. Either you have Vidya or you have Vidya. You can't have half and half. It doesn't work. But Swamiji, because people would come, so many of us are listening 5 years, 10 years, people decide also. Swamiji, he's a senior student of Swamiji means what? Don't say that. That's not fair. Senior student means the person has been listening to Swamiji for a long time. And once a student of Swamiji, he's always a student of Swamiji. I won't say he hasn't understood. But if there are senior students of Swamiji and they say, Swamiji, it's, we still can't see oneness, then what do you say? Hey, you still didn't get it? That was never Swamiji's way. Even when we tried to make him say it sometimes, in our own enthusiasm, he would always say, don't condemn yourself, you are in the process. But it has an element of difficulty at times. How long will you be in the process? See, it's very comforting that you are not ignorant, you are in the process. But that should not make me lackadaisical. The tendency to say, okay, I'm in the process and somehow I will get out of the process, it will complete. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to be actively being alert, I have to do something. Otherwise, we tend to lose years thinking, what is the means for jnanam? Shravanam. I am doing Shravanam. I am doing Maranam. Why it doesn't happen? There must be a reason, right? We sometimes don't look into it. We just think it will happen in time. Nothing is going to happen accidentally here. I told you, you can't stumble upon Brahman. Either you know it or you don't know it. That risk exists. I don't want us to feel, okay, I'm in the process. It will happen. It won't happen unless you are paying attention. I won't saying it won't happen. You are in the process, but continue to be alert. If I drop my alertness, what did we see? Apramattaha. The panchajnanani manasasaha, what are they? They stay. Buddhishchan vicheshtati. Then what? Tamahuf paramam gatim. Next verse said what? Apramattas tada bhavati. Yogo hi prabhavapyayau. This yoga, this time when you see it, if there is a time, this samadhi kind of, that ability to stay is a state. Until it's knowledge, it's a state. To be undisturbed for a length of time is a state of the mind until it is knowledge. It's a very helpful state to recognize knowledge. But it is not knowledge. When the state goes, you get disturbed. That's a state. That is what I said. Prabhavapyayo is that's a state. That though it says gati, tamahu paramam gati, I said it's a jnana sadhana. It is not jnanam. What is jnanam? When you are disturbed, mind is disturbed, you say what? I am not disturbed. When you don't conclude about your truth based on the state of the mind. And Swami would say, steadfastly refuse to identify with the state of the mind. Refuse to. That's the only way. Because we always have a tendency to identify again. And then we'll say, Jnanam is not happening. Jnanam is not doing anything. I'm still sad. Hey, Jnanam is, every vritti that comes and goes cannot be you. How can you say Jnanam is not working? Neti you do, na iti. It's not me. Whatever moves is not me. Do it. No, Jnanam doesn't work. Not true. Jnanam is that Jnanam is not available right now. And if I say, I'm in the process, it will happen, I may continue like this. And that may mean after 20 years, I will still say what? I'm in the process. And I'm now a very senior most disciple. It won't help. Your seniority here, it's not defense services where, your seniority buys you your promotions. It doesn't work that way. Either you get it, or the good thing, you know what? If you don't get it, you will come back to catch up where you left off. So Shastras say that just like you have punyam in yajna, dana, etc., there is a lot of punyam in Shravanam. And that will help you. So what does Gita say? Prapya punya kritan lokan ushitva shashvati samaha. Having gained, because of punya, of being in this path, having gained very nice lokas and spending a lot of happy time there as bhokta, not as with jnanam, as an experience, but you're in a good place, like you have traveled and you're in a nice air-conditioned place, not in a hot, sticky place. And then, after that, when you come back to earth, you will find yourself in a favorable situation. Either a wealthy and cultured family, or a poor but cultured family, but you will be or you will be born to yogis, people who are jnanis, in that family you will be born. Means you get a head start. Because see, to get a head start, samskara there, but you must find the right environment where the seed will immediately. So you will find yourself born in such a situation. After enjoying your good karmas, which means what? Therefore, Bhagavan says, a person who really understands and takes to this path is never going to be a loser. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatam tata gacchati. And it will also say elsewhere in the Gita that apichedapi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamaha. Even if you are a person who are the worst among sinners, I mean, papa you have so much. No, what was I saying now? Sarvebhyah papakrittamaha sarvam jnanaplavenaiva vrijinam santarishyati. You will cross everything with just jnanam. Even if you are a mahapapi. Why? Karma never stuck to you. And there, I don't remember the exact words, but if you just choose to turn away, means if you are very clear, that clarity has come. It may take time to come out of your orientation, but that clarity itself will get you out. That kind of statements are also there. I don't remember the exact verse in Gita. So the idea is, have I got the core and have I changed my outlook of life? It's not about looking for more bhogas anymore. The life is converted to yoga. And I'm saying this is easier said than done. We know what yoga means, but we can't live it easily because raga dveshas don't allow you to go there. You will justify it. You will say, I know yoga. You will even say, I'm living karma yoga, but we may not do so. Needs a brutal honesty to oneself without judging. That's the hard part. Because we judge, uddharet atmanatmanam. Don't judge. That's why it's a razor's edge. You judge, you'll go down. You don't judge, okay, but you become lackadaisical, you'll again fall. You have to be sufficiently alert, sufficiently having that tension, not pajama, loose. Sufficiently tense, not too tense. Again, it comes to the golden mean, You have to be on the mean path. Not this way, not that way. This is always hard. Example they give, another example I heard, not by Swami, but some other Swami, is that milk. When you get milk, not dairy milk, the freshly, milked milk, if you boil it too much, it burns. It'll burn out. If you boil it too little, it'll smell raw. You have to boil it exactly. There's a knack of boiling the milk, especially with the wood stoves. One of the Kannada philosophers talks about this. How milk boiling is an example for this very careful walk in this path. So you can't overdo, but you don't relax either. That you have to maintain. That's why I said apramattah. Apramattena vedhavyah. Mundaka. Apramattena vedhavyah. Without losing that alertness, that attention, you have to strike the target. Okay? Make some sense? It's hard to make these very clear. I'm trying to balance both sides out. All right. I think that was the last question here. So one thing I want to say now, which I haven't covered, and it's a good time to cover it now. So I skipped over that Om Ityetat. I said later we'll do it. Now is a good time for it. I have time. So we should know what is Om. We have covered it in a previous camp, but if you have forgotten, good time to remember now. This Om is an alampanam for meditation. What is the speciality of Om? Look, to just do a japa or just watch thoughts, any thought is okay. Ram, Kum, Pom, TM, Transcendental Meditation, Maharshi, they used to give mantra. And what will the mantra be? They would say the mantra is a meaningless sound. They'll give bijaksharas, Reem, Kroom, Kram, they will give something like this. But to the person who given West, they will tell what? That's a meaningless sound. It's a meaningless sound. But don't tell anybody. It is your special sound. Swami used to have a lot of fun with this anyway. Let me not go there now. The point is, anything, any one thought, if you hold on to, it's enough for you to do abhyasa. If your mind moves away, bring it back to that thought. But now, if you use Om, which we always talk about in Shastra, Om is a special syllable. We say Om is the most precious thing in the whole Veda. The entire Veda essence can be said with one syllable, Om. Length of Om is 3. 3 matras. Not A, not A, but A. That length. 3 matras. Ukaraha. Ukalaha. Panini will say Ukalaha. Add one more length. Triple it. So you should say Om. Not Om. Om is 1 matra. Om 2. Little more. Om. Exact length you figure out for yourself. You depend on how you space your vowels, how long you make them. But Om. Why 3? Now you look at Om. Om has got phonetically 3 components. A, U. A plus U is equal to O and Ma. You say A now. Open your mouth and say A. Say it. What happened? Mouth is fully open. Now say What happened? Fully closed. Okay. In any language in the world, all your sounds, whatever letters you pronounce, have to be between what and what? A and Ma. If I say it can stand for all sounds a human voice can produce. But could mean only A and Ma. So you put one more in between. What is in between? Half open. Oo. Oo. Now you add A, Ma. What does it stand for? Every single sound that the human voice apparatus can produce. What is the whole world that we know? Knowledge. What is knowledge? Words and meanings. What are words? Letters, consonants, and vowels. What are these? Between A and Ma. Therefore, or Om will cover what? Every word in every language. Therefore, Om stands for what? All knowledge. One way of understanding it at one level. Now, it's got A, U, Ma. Now you load. Load means you deliberately superimpose. What do you say? Fully open. It's like waking. You're fully awake. Karanavastha. You have gone to Bijavastha. You're in sleep. But you will wake up. Ardha Vikasa. Now, therefore, this is only with the perspective of when do you see only Sukshma Sharira? You cannot see only Sukshma. When is there only Karana Shariravastha? Sleep. What is there in dream? Karana plus Sukshma. But there is no Sthula. In waking, what is there? Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, all three. Don't think it's only Sthula. All three are there. But if you want to say which one is the unique state for each, we'll say sleep, waking and dream. But what does it stand for? Physical, Sthula, mental, right? And Karana, Bijavastha. Therefore, Om can now stand for, A stands for the entire physical world and a physical seer, waker. The U stands for your mind, Sukshma, like dream, Sukshma. And Ma stands for what? The unmanifest, Avyakta, Karanavastha. Now, when you say, use Om as an alambana, Om, what do you see? O, that O is A plus U. A stands for what? Waker and waking world. Both are gone together and A went to U. They went. U is mind, mental world. Seer and seen both. They are gone when U goes to Bijavastha, Ma. Ma is Bijavastha. So, Waker is resolved, Sthula is resolved to Sukshma, Sukshma is resolved to Karana. Then you say Om, Om, Om. What is there after Om? That is Amatra. What is Amatra? Swallows all three matras. So, this whole Om arose from what was, you think, between Oms. Not true. What was between Om, Amatra, is also there during Om, is also there before Om. It is ever present. So, what are you doing now? Om. If you pay attention to Om, it is the Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Prapancha. If you pay attention to the Amatra, it is what? The whole. The whole. You think it's only silence. It's not silence. It is that from which sound comes. It is that consciousness from which thought arises. Om is what? Thought, waker, waking world, dreamer, dream world, avyakta. All three are gone. I won't say avyakta, avyakta world because there's nothing. There's only one. I say sometimes sleeper, sleep world, but that's not really necessary. Now you use this what? See, if I said, Ram, Ram, your mind may go to Rama or Ramakrishna or Sapad Rama. Can go anywhere. You don't know where it will go. Any word can lead you elsewhere. Om. Hopefully we don't have any associations. This is why I discourage people from abusing the word Om. In fact, our tribe is the most difficult one. After a while, they will say Om for everything. It's okay. But you make Om into a hello, hi, bye. Everything is Om. It's all right. But if you do it and abuse it, you have lost Om. The sanctity of Om is gone. Now it becomes one more general word like hi. So, Om Swamiji means what? Hello, how are you? Om Swamiji, bye. Will you have food? Om. Will you not? Enough? Om. What is Om? Taittiriya talks about all this. The fact is, all these are acknowledged usages of Om. But if we abuse it, if we use the word too casually, it will lose that capacity it has. It's a phenomenal word. Shastra loads and says, Omkara Upasana will take you everywhere. Yo yadichasi tasya tat. Kathopanishad, right? Etadalambanam shreshtham. Etadalambanam param. Etadam alambanam gyatva yo yadichati tasya tat. Must be one to end. So, this Om, we should not make it too casual. And when people see sannyasi saying Om, Om, then what do others do? Om. They also start now. Hari Om, Om. Unnecessary. Puja Swamiji always said, why Hari Om? Why should you have a special address? Say Namaste. Namaste is nice. Namahate. Ishvaraha. I am saluting Ishvara in you. Why Hari Om? It has come because somewhere in spiritual grounds they found they have to be different from others. So they start to say Hari Om. Greeting is Hari Om. What is Hari Om? So Swamiji would say, I will not say Hari Om. What is Hari Om? Hari Hi Om. Don't have to argue about it. But Swami would say, if somebody insisted on calling me Hari Hi Om, I would say Om. But otherwise, Namaste. Context is what? Don't abuse Om. Let Om be a revered alambana for this. In sannyasi is Om Namo Narayanaya. It should be said fully, can be said. Om is also okay, nothing wrong. But be careful, because what happens, we learn the wrong things sometimes. So you see two sannyasis doing this. Now you also want to start saying Om for everything. Not necessary. Don't have an over-emphasized love for that Om. Use it for what purposes? So I try not to sign off Om. Disease catches you sometimes, because some people will only respond to Om, then you start saying Om, then it will come elsewhere too. But not a good idea. But what should you do? Om. Now, it's not just a sound coming and going. The whole waking world, waker, resolved into the dreamer, or mind, mental. Sthula went to Sukshma, Sukshma went to Karana, Karana, Avyakta went to Satyam. Then again, from it came what? Sthula, Sukshma, Karana. So, what is always there is Amatra. That Amatra is maintained, and that Amatra is not something. It is me. This recognition has to happen. This is used as Omkara-based chanting. And as I said, if you focus on Om, it becomes a Saguna Brahma Upasana. Because Om will stand for Hiranyagarbha, Virat and Ishvara. All three are covered. Uma. And if you focus, if your attention is shifted to the Amatra, between two Oms, then where are you? You are in Nirguna Brahma, which swallows Saguna Brahma. So you can use Omkara meditation very effectively. So when we are doing Nididhyasana, it's a good place. Rather than, see, one you can do something like Aham, Avyayoham. Always Aham will be there. Nityoham, Purnoham, Satchidananda Rupoham. Don't just say them. Don't do Nirvana Shatka without understanding. It's not a good idea. Manobuddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. That is dissociation. Good first step, but later you should say what? Manobuddhi Ahankara Chittani Aham. But Aham is not Manobuddha. That both ways you should be able to say. If you say it one way, it is not knowledge. So now one is this time. Second thing you can do is what? Instead of using these, you can say Om. So sannyasi is supposed to do only Om. Why? All this walks in. And what is Om further if you look? And they will say one more thing. Soham. What is Soham? Saha Aham. What is Saha? That. What is that? Tat. Tat is Jagat Karanam Brahma. What is Aham? I. Saha Aham. Sanskrit, what happens to make Sandhi? It becomes Soham. We call it Soham Sandhi. Sahaham, Soham. Soham. Now in that Soham, drop the Sakara. Drop the Hakara. What will you get? Soham. Drop the Sakara, beginning, and drop the Hakara. What will you get? Om. So Om is considered to be a short form for Soham. Saha Aham. So there are these associations with Om. And therefore Om can be very helpful in meditation. For Nididhyasana especially, you can use it. But don't abuse it. And understand the meaning, what we are trying to say there. That there is Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Avyakta, and then Vastu. Now you will take your question. Not considered right. Because in the language, A and U coming together will become O. That's the rule of Sandhi. But there are yoga schools, I believe, who do that. They will chant Aum, Aum. And Swamiji would sometimes have some, he would tell us a story that they went to one yoga ashram. He and another Swamiji went, Puja Swami and another Swamiji went to yoga ashram. And then this kind of meditation was done. And that too long meditation, Aum, something like that, long one. I don't know how it is, okay? Some long one. They make everything long. I'm not doing it well. All right? No offense meant to anybody. Because Shastra talks of Dirgha Omkara as a way to quieten the mind. And in pranayama, etc., they do teach this, and I'm not blaming it. We are only saying from the perspective of Vedanta here, okay? But then, so he heard this. So this finished, and they came out of the meditation. Some Swami's place they had gone. Then they saw a dog. And the dog was stretching. And the sound it produced was what? So then Swami said, we wondered, who learned from whom? So this was, when you talk of Auma, that's what comes to my mind. Swami has placed some very nice stories, so you can't forget certain things. It stays there. Okay? So this is something you can keep in mind. Because I didn't have time to cover it. And I do say Om in the meditation. You may not understand why. So I just... And moreover, see, the word Om hopefully has no other association for you. If I use any other word, there is a meaning for the word. Finally, we want to land on a word which does not have a vachyartha, and the meaning is only yourself. That is where we want to be. We want to recognize that. So, whether you say now, whether you say I, whether you say is, all these you will find they have to land on the same reality. But it should not be programmed. Swami should say, I will memorize, it's all same. No. When you hear the word, it should be no object. If I hear the word I, when I hear the word I, if the thought is the body, means that is the orientation. It needs to be neutralized. And Swamiji would say, don't stick to English. In your own mother tongue, say the word I. Whatever your mother tongue is. Nan. Ami. Whatever you want to say. Say it in your own language. Because mother tongue will be the most orientation. So if you hear Nan, Nanu, you say anything, Nenu. And where will you land? If you land on anywhere which has a meaning of the word, which is an object, you are in trouble. Trouble means what? Needs correction. Needs correction. So Swamiji would say, he doesn't know every language, but he'll say, you say in your own mind, you repeat the word for I in your own mother tongue. Repeat. See the meaning. Repeat. See the meaning. You will see whether your understanding is body, mind, sense, or is it outside. Because when you hear the word without any programming, when you hear the word, if that's where it goes, where will it go when I say I? It will go there only because that's where it is based. And we have to keep on, once knowledge is there, it's only a matter of saying, no, that is wrong. I have to change. That is wrong. How long? How long? Till it is there. It has to go. Swamiji, how long we have to do? Then Swamiji would say, is this a prison sentence to say I am Ananda, I am Purna? Swamiji, how long I have to say I am Ananda, I am Purna? Is it a prison sentence or what? Why are you complaining? Enjoy doing it. No, when will it end? That question means samsara. You want it to end. Trouble. So again, the whole, it's a balancing act. Don't lose the enthusiasm. Don't give up. At the same time, don't drop the effort. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena jagrihya. That's the holding the mind. But go further, abhyasena orientation goes. Okay? Enough for today and this camp. Last satsang is done. Okay. So tomorrow we will have meditation as usual, and then class 9 to 10 or 10:15. Then around 10:45 or so we'll meet here, and we will have a small one Ashtotra puja. Then we will have a valedictory, and we'll end. Hopefully by 12:15, 12:30, I think we'll finish. Okay? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.